And hello to all friends, Potato is with you. This is a complete guide to the farmer's delight fashion for version 1.17.1. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. This mod adds various wild vegetables to our world, which you can collect and eventually cook. After all, there are a lot of dishes here. Just look at what a huge amount. And of course, it will all be prepared not only in the workbench, but also on new devices. Let's say we have a pot like this. And as you can understand from all this mod is focused on creating various foods, and very tasty, nutritious, and even with its own effects. Well, first let's look at the generation in this mod. Now in the world you can find the following plants: wild cabbage, wild onion, tomato vine, wild carrot, wild potato, sea beet, wild rice, a colony of brown mushrooms, and also a colony of red mushrooms. Let's break down all these plants and see what will fall out of them. First of all, we break it, it's cabbage. Only cabbage seeds have fallen from it now, but cabbage itself can also fall out. Then we break the onion. Here, there falls this kind of onion, which we can also plant a batoon onion. Then we break the tomato vine. Here we have tomato and also tomato seeds. Then we break this one into what kind of plant? This is a carrot. It falls on a carrot here, and that's it. Then I broke the potato. Strangely enough, potatoes fall out of it. Then we break the sea beet. Here we are now dropping only the seeds of sea beet. We break the rice, and wild rice falls from it. And finally our mushrooms. This is a brown. Naturally brown mushroom falls out in the amount of 5 pieces now, and red also in the amount of 5 pieces. Next, let's move on to the basics of this mod. First of all, you will need to make the following knives. Any of these knives, but in general, we have a silicon one for 2.5 damage, then iron for 3.5, gold for 1.5, diamonds for 4.5, and finally the coolest one for 5.5 damage. By the way, they all have 2 and 2 speeds. Let's take the coolest nazarite, and what can you do with it? With it, you will be able to first extract grass, namely in an unusual way. Let me go into survival mode again now, and break one of these blades of grass here. Well, now nothing has fallen out. I'm breaking it here, nothing falls out, and now it finally fell out. We have straw falling out, and from this straw, you can craft, and quite useful things. First of all, you can make such organic compost from straw. To create compost, you need earth, 2 pieces of rotten flesh, 2 straws, and also for bone meal. Let's take this organic compost, and what is it? As you can understand compost, it is realized in order to grow all kinds of plants faster. But to do this, you will need to rework it first. How can this be done? We can just put it in the world, let's say this way, and wait quite a lot, or put it in water, and also wait quite a lot, but still it will be a little faster. Let's now turn on randomtic and sleeps, let's say 1,000, and see how it will all differ with us. Here we have 1,000, and look carefully. At first it gets dark in the water, and then it gets a little bit darker on land. But in the water, it still works more efficiently, so I advise you to immediately shove the whole thing into the water. And here too, everything has matured for us. What do we get here? And we get rich soil. You can already turn this rich soil, with the help of a motega, into such a rich piston. Let's take it as well. Then let's allow wheat hay and also ordinary water to make beds and show the effectiveness of this rich soil. First of all, look at how it looks very beautiful, especially when it absorbs water. It's so straight black, which means that it is very effective. Let's finally plant wheat here, and after that I'll turn on the random tick sleeps, and by the way, we can compare the whole thing with ordinary soil. Therefore, let me plow the land here now, with the help of an ordinary motego. By the way, as you can see, everything is starting to grow there, and we have just plowed the land here. Well, let's quickly plant everything here, and look at the difference. Random text pit 1,000, and look how everything grows very quickly here, and here, everything is literally just starting to grow. I really didn't plant anything here, but I think that it grows 3 times faster here, if not even 4 times. So it will melt here, for a very long time. Well, in short, I think you understand that it is more effective here. Also from this straw, you can make yourself a canvas like this. It is made of 4 straws. From this canvas, you can make a new item. This is a basket. It is made of 3 pieces of canvas, and also for bamboo. Let's take it and see what it is in general. Let's say you can put it like this, also so that the hole is up, and in general it's just an ordinary chest. Let's stuff something in here, and you can see that nothing appears there. Also, you can make such a tatami block from the canvas. It is made simply from 2 canvases and also 2 straws. And I will immediately say that from this tatami block, you can make such a whole tatami mat. It is made simply from a block, and from this whole mat, you can make such half mats. Let's also take them, and see what it is in general. First of all, the blocks, this is how they look. They are just decorative blocks for some buildings. Then checkmate. You can also lay a mat, and it looks like this, literally like a rug. And here is the half of the mat, by the way. They do not connect in any way with us. You can't interact with them in any way, you can't even sit down, you can't lie down, in general, just decorative blocks. And finally, from straw, you can make another rope like this. It is made of 3 pieces of straw. And from 4 pieces of rope, you can also make a safety sew. Let's take it all and test what it is. First of all, a rope, it will be like a ladder. Let's say, look, we put a rope here, then we can push it down like this, and in the end, it goes down like this. Then we come up here, and just press the space bar, and start climbing. I released the space bar, and so we go down a little bit. This is how it looks from F5. There is no animation, of course, and that's how we can, let's say, we climb a tree here. And we also have a safety net. We can put it, let's say, somewhere here from below, with this kind of canvas. And then let's just not jump up and see what happens, but we jump back a little and don't get any damage. Next, let's look at probably the most unobviously useful device is a cutting board. Everything that is in this chest, you can produce on this cutting board. Let's sort it all out quickly. Firstly, the cutting board is made of 2 sticks, and also 4 boards. And then let's look at the first mode. This is the mode with scissors. Here we will be able to disassemble some items, let's say, such as leather armor, but in my case, it will be a jacket and also a saddle. I'm going to put this cutting board right now, let's say here somewhere. It looks like this, although let's put it somewhere on a tree, because after all, the cutting board should be on the table. Let's say so. Then, I put a leather jacket here, that's how it all looks cool. And then I just poke scissors right here on this cutting board, and see what happens, and we get a 1-skinned one. That is, we just cut this leather jacket into 1 skin, recycled it. We can also put a saddle here, let's say, and cut it. Here we already get 2 skins, and also 2 pieces of iron. Here we can also put such items that cannot be processed on this board at all. Let's say, here is a board. It looks like this, and it can be used in some decorative buildings. By pressing the PCM with your bare hand, you can take it all away. By the way, you can also take in one hand, that is, in the left, some object that you will process, and in the other scissors. Poke a few times, and this way you can process the whole thing pretty quickly. Next comes the processing with an axe. Here you can, for example, recycle an oak log or any other, and also, well, for example, a door. Let's first consider an oak log, placing it here and only with a PCM axe. We look at what is happening. We are given a hewn oak log, and also a new object. This is the bark of a tree. From it, you can make such useful items as paper, then organic compost and basically everything. Well, let's try to rework the door, for example. I put it here, and poke the PCM with an axe. We are given 1 board. And finally, the most recent mode of this board, just the same to which it was intended, is processing with a knife. Here you can cut the following, let's say raw mutton, raw beef, also fried variations of them by the way, chicken, raw cod, raw salmon, raw pork, even watermelon, pumpkin, cabbage, and let's say rice. Let's see now what we get out of it in the end. The first one is lamb. Here we will get the following pieces. These are raw lamb chops. Then raw beef, cut it up, and get as many as 2 ground beef, which, by the way, we can eventually fry and get such cutlets. Then let's process the chicken. Here we get bone meal, and raw chicken fillet, pork as well. Here we will get raw bacon. And that's what's interesting, it's a watermelon. Here, we will get as many as 9 slices of watermelon and pumpkin. From the pumpkin, we get 4 slices of pumpkin. We can make some kind of food out of them later, or even eat it now. Well, here we can still cut the cabbage. We will get as many as 2 cabbage leaves. And rice, what will we get from it? And from it, we get straw and also rice sowing. Then, I would also like to say a few words about vegetables. You can make boxes like these out of them, and they will dock as many as 64 pieces, and will consist of 9 vegetables. That is, we have a box of carrots, potatoes, beets, cabbage, tomatoes, onions, rice in the form of grass, ordinary rice, and also straw. Now let's look at some kitchen items, namely, we have such storerooms here. They come in a variety of variations. We have oak, birch, spruce, tropical wood, acacia, dark oak, crimson, and also finally distorted. We have all of them performing the same functions, namely, this is just an ordinary chest. But also look, here they have such an opening animation, consisting of 2 frames, but still it's also cool. You can see that they have such shelves there. Next, let's look at the following appliance called a kitchen stove. We take it, and also let's assume ground beef, because on this stove, as you can guess, we will be able to fry various items. Let's put it, this is how it looks, quite beautiful, made of brick, and by the way, I forgot to show you craft. And it is made of 4 bricks, a fire, and also 3 iron ingots. That's how it looks beautiful from above, by the way, and we can't go into it. It will burn endlessly with us. Let's put ground beef here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as many as 6 pieces, when we can put only 4 on the caster. That is, this stove will be more effective for bonfires. And look, by the way, how beautifully all this is being prepared. From each of this minced meat, a separate such smoke departs. Of course, here we can fry not only minced meat, but also let's even allow ordinary pork or lamb. And when all this is fried, it falls out, and that's what we get. These are beef patties. Next, let's consider another device called a kitchen boiler. It will only work with us in conjunction with some kind of heat source. It can be a bonfire, a shower bonfire, a regular bonfire consisting of a flint and also on the zraka, then even lava or a kitchen stove. Let's say I put it all on the kitchen stove because it will look very beautiful, that is like this. Although, let me show you how it will all be with a bonfire. Here is a bonfire and a kitchen boiler on top, and this is how it looks together with a bonfire. Pretty. Here, we have legs like this, there is some kind of grid and a boiler on top of it. We can go into this cauldron, and here we have such a seemingly incomprehensible interface. Well, in general, here we will put the ingredients. Here we will definitely need to put some empty bowl, and on the right, we will get our final result. Let's try to cook something here. Let's say it's tomato sauce. To recreate it, you will need 2 tomatoes and also a bowl. We turn to our kitchen boiler. We put 2 tomatoes here. We can even do it this way. It is necessary that there are exactly 2 tomatoes in different slots, otherwise nothing will just go. So we put them here, and also do not forget about the bowl, and see what will happen now. Here, we are running out of craft, and we get tomato sauce. We can already eat this tomato sauce, but I don't advise it, because you can make such a very cool meal out of it. This is pasta with meatballs, or we have similar other dishes. These are other pastas, let's say with chopped lamb, and there are also vegetable noodles, all sorts of other dishes. But let's make pasta with meatballs. Here you will need ground beef, raw pasta, which is made by the way as follows from for wheat, and also a bucket of water. Here, you will need another tomato, and of course, our tomato sauce. We put the whole thing in our kitchen pot. Then here is a plate, ground beef, pasta, tomato and tomato sauce. And no, by the way, you won't need a tomato here. I was a little mistaken. Here you will only need ground beef, raw pasta, and also our tomato sauce. And in the end, we get pasta with meatballs. Let's try it by the way, and see what it gives. So we ate it. First of all, it gives out, in my opinion, if I'm not mistaken, 6 hunger, and also satiety, for as much as 4 minutes. In this cauldron, you can also make just a huge amount of other food, all of which we have here in such plates. That is, it's about 25 dishes. But you can also do the usual crafting of food in the workbench. Let's say, we have sweet berry cookies, barbecue on a stick, and also a hamburger. Cookies are made from berries, to wheat. Barbecue on a stick is made of 2 sticks, steak, onion, tomato, and also fried chicken. And the hamburger is made from bread, beef patty, cabbage, tomato, and also onion. Let's take them and see what effects they will impose. Honestly, I don't remember if the cookies will give anything. No, it doesn't do anything. Barbecue on a stick gives us nothing, and a hamburger now definitely has to give something. Here he gives us strength. Also, by the way, there is food not only for humans, but also for your animals. This is for dogs and also for horses. The first is dog food. There will be speed for 5 minutes of strength, and also resistance for 5 minutes. But horse food will give out a speed of 2 for 5 minutes, and also jumping ability. I mean, it's pretty cool. By the way, horse food is not very expensive. There should be just a stack of hay, 2 apples, and a golden carrot. Also in this fashion, there is such a type of dishes that you will first need to put on some table, let's say, or even on the floor. Then take them with a bowl and only then eat. This is, for example, fried chicken, stuffed pumpkin, honey glazed ham, shepherd's pie, and also cheesecake made of sweet berries. Let's say fried chicken is being made. From fried chicken, oddly enough, bread, 2 baked potatoes, 2 carrots, onions, eggs, and also a bowl. Let's take all these dishes and just see how they will look. This is our chicken. Then there is a stuffed pumpkin that's so very beautiful. Look, there's even some kind of stick on top, and this is probably a sprout, although most likely even some kind of spoon. Then comes the ham. Look, there we have such a meat peeking through, honey glaze on top, oddie. There is even a bone. Shepherd's pie looks like this, as a cake usually looks. Cheesecake looks like this. Pretty. Then we remove the bowl and poke the PCM, let's say on the chickens. And here, we have a plate of fried chicken. And the chicken, by the way, has been cut off a little here. And look, there's even a bone visible there. Now let's take a look at what a pumpkin will look like. That's how it goes from the top here. Then the ham goes a little like that. The pie we have goes here in the corners, and this cheesecake is also in the corners, and the speed is immediately given out by the way. But because cheesecake, by the way, we immediately eat it with the help of PCM, and it looks very nice in the cut, by the way. Also, in this fashion, there is not only food, but even some kind of drink. This is a bottle of milk, and there is also hot cocoa. Hot cocoa, by the way, is made in our boiler, and here, instead of a bowl, you will need to put the following. These are ordinary bubbles. That is, we take a bottle and shove it here. Milk, by the way, is made from a bucket of milk and also 3 bottles, but it will also remove the effect from us, but only 1. Let's say we have speed, and I'm shooting it now with 1 bottle of milk. This way, we will even be able to save a little bit. Well, of course I won't show you all the food from this fashion, because look just how much there is here. Every craft to disassemble this seems to me nonsense, because that's how you can see it all. I can tell you that the more expensive the food, the more it will give more effects, and accordingly, more satiety. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.